Hello, all, and welcome. My name is Tiffany Hall. I am an alumni of TripleTen Software Engineering Program, a full stack engineer, and now product owner at Scholastic Inc., the world's largest publisher of children's books and powerhouse in the digital education space, too. And tonight, I get to be one of the favorite most jobs that I have, which is the host of our different code jams and code puddings. Tonight is our February BIA code pudding. And so we will have lots of geeky, nerdy little data nuggets that is going to be transformed magically into stuff that people like myself, developers, and other people who don't work in data are going to be able to understand what the business value of this data is. So it's very exciting. I'm glad to see that so many of you could join us today. The code pudding is always a fantastic opportunity for all of our students to join from all over the country. So BIA, just in case you're wondering, is our Business Intelligence Analytics program. So we have students from that program tonight, and they are going to be presenting their work for the last 5 days. You might be asking yourself, what's a code pudding? So if you're new to this space, a code pudding is a friendly competition at TripleTen that occurs for our students during their normal coursework. They are super short competitions. A group of students get together and they have a lot of data and they have to put in the work to make that something that will have business value to CEOs or YouTube viewers in the case of tonight. So this is like our little dessert to our code jams. It's like a little pudding. All right. Our code pudding consists of two parts, working with data and the presentation part. Last week, all of our participants were divided into teams, and they were challenged to collaboratively create visual essays using the provided data sets that we gave them. Our teams only have 5 days to work on their project. Today, the teams are going to show you their projects, and then our judges are going to review them next week. And judges will be evaluating both the data part that you didn't see over the last 5 days and the presentation that you will see here in a few minutes. All of our results will be posted on our Discord and socials by March 12th. All of our students can vote for their favorite project during the week. In the Discord channel, you'll see a special poll that we will populate after this viewing. And then if you're not a student of ours just yet, you can feel free to use the chat that's down below here, and you can write in the name of your favorite team. All right. Our audience award winner always receives a special prize from TripleTen, and I will try my best to make sure Sharkbait, my cat, does not put a dead mouse in there. So make sure you vote and write the name of your favorite team in the comment section or vote for it in the Discord poll, okay? Now it is time for my favorite part where we get to see all of the hard work that students have been putting in for the last 5 days, all right? Our first team for the night is the Beauty Intelligence Analysts. Get it? BIA? I'd love a good name. Okay, so those team members are Patrick Valera, Nathan Brown, and Vidana Dakal.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Patrick Valera, and along with my group mates, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Nathan Brown.
This is Bandhana Thakal.
And we are the Beauty Intelligence Analysts, and this is our cosmetics analysis. So, what did we do? We analyzed 1,472 unique facial cosmetic items among 116 unique cosmetic brands for consumers of these cosmetic brands, and we wanted to help them find the right product for them based on price, rank, and their skin type. Now, from the data, as you can see, we had too many options. There's so many products per brand. And then if we sort it by price, we also see that we have way too many options here, starting from our average price of La Mer, $184, to Sephora at $10. So what did we do? We decided we wanted to take the top 5 most expensive brands and compare it to the top 5 least expensive brands to see if there was a difference in them. And I will pass it off to Nathan, and he's going to go into more detail.
Thanks, Patrick. So from those brands, let's get into rank. Products in our data set were ranked on a scale of 0 to 5. On the bottom left of this visual, we can see our exploration set that we had in the previous slide with their average product rankings. On the right, we have all products based on top and bottom, just of their average ranking only. At the top, we have a bit of a Venn diagram, inner join, crossover, and here we can see that Bioethic and Saint-Tropez are in both of our exploration set as well as the base set on the bottom right. So why are we talking about this? We just found the ranking data to be somewhat and slightly ambiguous. So we just wanted to call that out before going forward. For example, this ranking information obtained from voluntary and impartial users, or is it obtained directly from the brands themselves? We weren't sure, but we still found this information to be useful, so we're going to continue to use it in our exploration. So now we'll start talking about skin types. There are 5 skin types: normal, oily, combined, sensitive, and dry. We wanted to find products applicable to all 5 skin types among our top brands that we're exploring. In this visualization, we can see that Sephora has the most at 19, followed by La Mer and SK2. This will help us move to achieve our list. This here is our product list. When you hover over any number in the chart, it'll show you a list of products referencing that brand and product type. Now that we know which brands and products are the most skin type friendly, we can dig into cost. Ironically, our top 2 brands with the most products applicable were La Mer and Sephora, as we've already pointed out before. They're a high-end and low-end brand. So for the next few visuals, we'll explore La Mer and Sephora. At the top here, we have our average prices and product types. And then at the bottom, we have a whisker plot just demonstrating the product price distribution. La Mer is high-end with large average price distribution of 80 plus, while Sephora is completely opposite. Its average prices are well under 60, ranging from $5 to $23. And now I'll pass it over to Vandana.
Yeah. So we are trying to drill down the Sephora brand and La Mer brand. As you can see in this slide, we are comparing the average rank of these 2 brands. So they are pretty much same for almost all the category, give or take, except for eye cream, where you can see that La Mer brand is at average rank of 3.7, while Sephora is at 2.4. Now we want to compare these 2 based on the price. So the first chart, we can see the average price of these 2 brands. We can see that significantly La Mer products, they are pretty high priced, whereas Sephora brand is pretty low priced. La Mer, for an eye cream, La Mer is at 228, where Sephora is at $5. Now, we want to look at the difference of, like, for the same category, what's the difference between these 2 brands product. The bottom scatter plot shows that when we look at the La Mer products, we can see that it has significantly high difference between its products for the same category, whereas Sephora has a significantly low difference between its products for the same category. Now let's move on to the other one. Yeah. So now we are trying to compare the high-end price brands with the low-end price brands. We can see that there is this significant difference between the average price of high-end brands to the low-end brands. In terms of products that are applicable for all skin types, we have 38. There's this significant difference as well, with 38 being at high-end brands and 23 being at low-end brands. But if we're looking at the ranks of these 2 sites, we can see that there isn't much difference between these two sites. So being 4.2 and 4.14. So now let's move on to the next slide. So what conclusion did we get from this data analysis is that so for high-end brands, the ranking has come to 4.2, whereas low-end brands ranking is at 4.15. High-end products, there are like 38 products that are applicable for all skin types, whereas there are 23 products from low-end side applicable for all skin types. So out of 1472 products, there were only 61 products that were applicable for all skin types, and most being Sephora products at 19. Now, what is our recommendation for the consumers is that if you're looking for best combination between price and rank, Sephora is the product. So even for price, Sephora is the best. Just for the price, also Sephora brand products are the best. Whereas if you're looking for the highest ranked products, BioEffect has the best products. So yeah, so this is our analysis for the cosmetic data in total. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much.
All right, fantastic. I don't know if anybody else was doing this, but during the whole presentation, I was like taking notes furiously because this felt like just the kind of information that a mom like me needs. So thank you for this presentation. Okay, let's talk about the project itself. Okay, so this project is done in a 5-day time period, and we give you the data sets. But what I'm really curious about is how your team, after the competition starts, what did your team do? Talk about to figure out like how are you going to go through all of that data about those beauty products and make meaning out of it? Like, what's the first step there for you?
Our first step was just to explore the information in the data set. So we did a lot of just detailed EDA and went through everything and just tried to play around with the data to see what we could find. We also were just kind of also looking for any possible hiccups in the data, like null values, incomplete values, or things that just aren't useful or didn't have meaning. That's how we kind of found out that the rank was a little bit arbitrary. Some brands only had one product versus other brands had a lot of products to rank as well. So that's where we started. And then from there, we started to come up with questions from our data and build a story around those questions so that we could kind of tell a cohesive story and do a good project.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then adding on that, we initially kind of came up with multiple matrices, but then in the end, we kind of drilled down in terms of price, rank, and the skin types because that kind of made sense more than other matrices. So yeah.
Fantastic. And Patrick, you've been here
Mhm.
before, yeah?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So how was it this time?
It was really great, honestly. Like seeing different data sets, I felt like on the last project we did was a lot of statistics, whereas this one we kind of had to find different data sets to create visuals for. So I liked it. We were able to get better story points, I felt like. And
Mhm.
as you can see, we had amazing visuals. I think one thing that really helped us was Nate and Vandana created an outline to highlight all the things that we needed to put into our project. And
Oh,
honestly, like that was super helpful.
like an outline, like if you were going to be writing an essay.
Yeah, essentially.
That's so much. Okay,
It was
great
worth it.
tip. Definitely going to put that one in for future code puttings because that's a really great idea to make sure you guys are hitting all the kind of bullet points you want to make sure to get across in the business impact of it.
Hmm.
Awesome. In terms of business impact, like that's another thought to consider is like, what is your view going into this as a team about you know what your questions are, you know what those points are going to be, but how do you draw that connection to business value so that businesses get value from all the work you've just put in, right?
Mm-hmm. We can show them like what the data means, right? Like just explaining to them, hey, like here's your numbers, here's your rank, here's like this high-end brand that's supposed to be super expensive, but it's actually the same product as this cheaper brand. So if this information happens to like get out or becomes public, people will be like, oh, I'm just gonna go to this cheaper brand, so
Yeah,
that's something that I feel like businesses would appreciate having, or information that they would appreciate having.
for sure. And probably impact their marketing techniques, I imagine,
Exactly.
too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really fantastic. All right. Well, thank you guys so very much for your presentation tonight. It was a great way to start off the evening. That is the Beauty Intelligence Analyst with Patrick Valera, Nathan Brown, and Vandana Dakal. Next team up is the Data Divas with Layla Meyer, Sebastian Pena, and Eleanor Ruprecht.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
I can.
Right. Nice. Well, hello everyone. We will do an analysis on a dating app called Wink. Our audience is the Wink app marketing team. Layla, Eleanor, and myself, Sebastian, are going to analyze the data, aiming to provide insights in order to optimize the publicity budget. We want to strategically allocate resources to make sure they yield the highest return to enhance user experience and app growth. Some of the challenges that we encounter were sorry, someone said something on the, well, some of the challenges that we encountered were making sure we divide information on interest to make sure we can analyze each one separately. And another one was making sure that we were all on the same boat when it came to how we wanted to present the data and um, how we wanted to communicate the analysis. Yeah, our three questions were who's swiping right the most, then how does interest influence usage, and looking for love or just a chat, so maybe love or friendship. Okay, so the first thing we wanted to do is to make sure there's no big difference between participation of genders in the app. So we believe that equal participation is important to the growth of the app. We realize that they're pretty much the same, as we have 251 male users and then 249 female users. So then we went to analyze the same but including age and gender. We saw that the highest age of engagement for females is 21-year-old, then the lowest one is 20, and then for males the highest engagement is 18 and the lowest is 22. Then we wanted to see what age is similar to the amount of users they have, and we realized that age 24, both males and females exhibit high interest on the app. We used a polynomial trend line to see the trend of ages, the use of the app during different ages, and the trend line on the female side is constant and doesn't show strong movement throughout different ages. On the other side, male demographic shows fluctuation, and some ages showing significant more use than others. And then the next question is for Layla.
To answer the question, how does interest influence usage? We examined overall user interests and categorized them into active and inactive groups. We found that there is an overall trend of interests of cooking, travel, and sports that had a higher swiping history. And we also noted that there were gender-specific trends. For female with interests in cooking, sports, and travel, they had a history of higher swiping. And then for males with interest in reading, music, and hiking. We saw that they had a higher history in swiping. We then categorized user interests into active and inactive. Active users were people with interests of sports, hiking, and travel, and inactive users had interests of reading, cooking, music, and movies. We found that users with active interests were more likely to swipe frequently. When users encounter matches with shared interests, they engage more, leading to increased swipes and potential matches. By analyzing user interest and swiping history, we found that interests play a crucial role in app engagement. And to answer our final question, I will hand it over to Eleanor.
Yeah, thank you, Layla. So I feel like looking for love or just a chat is a very interesting question to look into when analyzing a data app. So that's why we looked at the trends by user intent. So we used the swiping history and saw that there was differences between the different categories in the looking for, which was long-term relationships, casual dating, marriage, and friendship. We did it, again, similar to before by gender. So we have the female and the male differences, but overall, the two that stand out that are most looked for were long-term relationships and casual dating. So for female, that was more casual dating over the long-term relationship, and for male was the long-term relationship over the casual dating. And interesting is also to look at the occupation based on their user intent, where we have found, for example, that engineers are more leaning towards looking for long-term relationships versus social media influencers are more likely to be looking for casual dating. So that is a very interesting data to look at, where the occupation stands out most based on their user intent.
So based on our analysis, we recommend targeting 24-year-olds as the primary audience for our marketing efforts. It would be beneficial to place emphasis on engaging 19 and 20-year-old males. This approach aims to balance the user demographic and align male engagement trends more closely with those of females. We think that by creating a more similar trend line between male and female users, we can enhance the overall interaction and improve our marketing outcomes.
Then to increase engagement by leveraging shared interests, we recommend both interest-based matching and event partnerships. An example of interest-based matching could be highlighting the app's ability to connect shared active interests or featuring success stories of couples who bonded over activities such as hiking or sports. And examples for event partnerships could include collaborating with travel companies, sport brands, and outdoor activity groups for in-app purchases or promotions, offering exclusive discounts or event invitations for users with shared interactions, and creating opportunities for real-life connections through sponsored events.
Another interesting option to consider would be gamification and challenges. So this would look like introducing art-based challenges where users could be showcasing their creativity and also including weekly themed drawing contests or collaborative murals. So winners could potentially earn profile boosts or exclusive badges, so really just to engage the users and also to focus more on what they're actually looking for. You can implement profile and filters. So this would allow users to highlight their interests with different profile tags or also verification badges with search filters, just to really prioritize user shared occupations, hobbies, and what they're really looking for within the app. And that will be all for today. If there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer those.
First of all, I'm really disappointed that there wasn't a filter in there for like people who like to knit. I'm sure that is a really hot market for the for the dating app world. I'm really disappointed, guys. No. So one of the questions that I have is looking at the recommendations that you guys pulled. You guys did an amazing job really naming who your client is and what you're really hoping to get for your client, right? The business impact you're really looking to solve for them, which I think is awesome. But when it comes to recommendations, is that something that you guys just make up on your own? Do you guys do research? You guys just like where do all of those ideas come from?
They're definitely based out of research. So what is always really recommended is based on the data you have done, then also look at the market, look what other apps are using, what is working for them. And if that falls within this specific app too, or the data that we've done for this app, implementing this would also increase their chances of satisfying their users or increasing engagement.
Very cool. Now, is that part of the program that you guys are in? Because I took the software development one, so so this is a bit of a mystery to me. But is that part of the program that you guys get through TripleTen, so that you can learn how to do those skills for this project?
I don't know if we've done direct recommend. I mean, with most of the analysis we do, we have to do recommendations. I don't think we have directly had a course about that. I'm not sure. Do you
Got
know?
it. So it's part of the coursework as the like results that you have to come up with. Similar to like if you were doing software development, you have to do like a code review kind of a thing and submit that. Very
Yeah,
cool.
usually in the projects we have on the conclusion, after we see that where their problems are, they ask you to give a recommendation of what you would think would be the best way to solve the problem. We are not the marketing experts. However, we can see where maybe they're lacking some of, for example, when it comes to age, we see that there is the 18-year-olds, for example, as a male, there's a lot of movement in the app. However, on the females, there might not be too much movement. So you can see that there's opportunity there because you want both males and females to be on the app at the same time in order to get more engagement and for the people to come back to the app and want to use them a little bit more. So now how they will do it and how they use their technology and everything, that's all to the marketing team. But I do believe that it's important for us to just show them what they may be lacking, and they just use that as an opportunity to use their own strategies to get to them and make sure they can get a little bit more engagement.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, is that sometimes it's the data that you have to point out to the other departments to show where they're lacking, right? What pieces they might be missing. And that's where you guys really are able to highlight a lot of those things for them.
What point is a bunch of numbers or stats if you don't have an answer for it?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Make that a sound bite. I love that. No, it's a great point, right? Because, you know, we've got the data of the entire world at our fingertips, but if you can't make meaning out of it, it's useless.
Exactly.
Love that. All right. So that was our data divas, and that is Layla Meyer, Sebastian Pena, and Eleanor Ruprecht. Our next team tonight is going to be the Diamond Detectives, and that team consists of Monty Sitzman, Vibha Hegde, and Kieran Maura. But I believe, Kieran, you're the one with us tonight live.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? I just wanted to check.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. My name is Kiran, and we are here to present the Diamond dataset. And our team consists of Vibha, Monty, and myself, and together we are the Diamond Detectives. So getting into the start, we wanted to analyze basically what are the key factors influencing the diamond prices. Our stakeholders are the investors, diamond business owners, and sellers and retailers. Our target audience would be the consumer, designer, researchers. Sorry about that. So the first chart we made was to understand what are the average price in each of the diamond categories like clarity, cut, shape, and color. We found that the type FL, which is flawless, tend to have a high average price. In cut, aster cut leads to higher average price. In color, the color G leads to higher average price, and shape, marquise, leads to higher average price. We also did histogram and frequency to check which among the 6,400 diamonds, which of these categories has the highest number of diamonds. In cut category, we see the idol has the most count of diamonds. In color, it is the color D, which is the rarest of the diamond, and the shape, it is the marquise. Here, sorry, the round, and in clarity, it's the VS1. The histogram here shows the carat weight bin, and we can see the carat weight with 1 carat tends to be has a high count. Similarly, for the price with price of 2,500 seems to be the leading price range. Moving on to the heat map, the main goal was to see which of the categories under which of the types under each categories cut, clarity, carat, and color leads to high price, diamond price. We filtered by price that's above 20,000 to almost 40K. We found that the ideal category would be the carat weight of 2, clarity IF, and color D commands a price of 39K, followed by a carat weight of 2, clarity VVS1, color D, with a price of 36. We also did a scatter plot to understand if there is a relationship between a continuous variable and our dependent variable price. We see there is a linear relationship between the carat weight and price. As you can see in the picture, in the chart scatter plot, the p-value is 0.001, which is statistically significant, which the model says that the carat weight do have relationship with the price, as in like if the carat weight increases, the price also moves. Although we see some non-linear relationship where the carat is under 1 weight. We also did some analysis for the other continuous variables for depth percentage, table percentage, width, length, height, and we have seen a linear relationship. And all these continuous variables do have are statistically significant. They have a relationship with the price. For example, if the height, if the diamond has a big height, the price also increases. But those, as we can see, if the height, the p-value is statistically significant, but R square is low, which signals the model is not fit. And although the price moves, but these categories are not good enough indicator to price increase. We did another scatter plot to understand what would be the optimum price range for a target audience if they want to understand what would be the best diamond to buy with the best attributes. We found that the yellow, which is FL, is flawless carat clarity, and IF is nearly flawless. So we found that if you're looking for a diamond under the price of under 4K or 3K, this would be the optimum sweet spot to buy the diamond with the clarity of IF carat weight 1 with a price of 5K. So these are our key findings and conclusions. We found that the highest average price linked to the quality attributes of the carat diamonds are FL, this is flawless, color G, cut aster and shape marquise, frequencies, the most frequent cut is the ideal shape round, color D. Histograms, we saw that like the carat bean of carat 1, carat weight 1 has the highest number of diamonds. Heat map, as we can see, these are the competitions which commands the has the highest average prices. The scatter plots showed that all the continuous variable do have are statistically significant, as they help to predict the price. However, because their R square is really low, which means that there's no much variation in the price, it would be a better to have other variables to test the power of the model. Further evaluation would be to have more complex model to basically to evaluate that price to predict the diamond of the prices. That's from my end. Vibha is our next team member, and I'll just play her recordings.
Hello, my name is Prabha and I'm part of the Diamond Detectives team and I will be presenting our question. Kirat must have already touched upon the 4 C's of what contributes to the price of a diamond, which is cut, color, clarity, and carat weight. So I want to focus in this slide about carat weight. We see most of our diamonds are of a carat weight of 1, 1.1, 1.2, or lie in the range of 1 to 1.5 carat weight. And as expected in the norm, as the carat weight increases, the visible diamond size also, that is the average length to width ratio of the diamond, also increases. But this is not the case. As you can see, that most of the diamonds are present horizontally in the scatter plot. So to look more upon that, we looked at the carat weight distribution of our data set and found that most of our diamonds are present in this weight range. And it's also understood that more factors apart from just weight of the diamond contribute to the price. So here we can change the filters and see how each attribute distribution is present for each carat weight bucket. And the second slide, we see the color distribution, carat weight distribution in each color. So as you can see, most of our diamonds are in the D and E color, and the biggest portion of the most obvious one clarity is present in these colors, and IF is the least. This, I would say, is our best detective work. As diamond detectors, we found what factors are contributing largely to the price of diamond in each of the 4 C's. So looking at cut, we see that aster and excellent cut contribute to a sudden jump in price of the diamonds. We see that the prices are becoming more premium because of these cuts. Same and the same colors, we can see that G and H are contributing highly to the price of the diamonds. And for clarity, we see that VS2 and even FL are contributing to the premium level pricing of these diamonds.
Thank you, Vibha. I'll be playing Monty's video now.
right, this blocks plot shows. Hello, everyone. My name is Monty Sitzman. I am part of the Diamond Detectives team and a business intelligence analyst. My portion of the analysis was covering proportions. So this is going to focus on key proportional measures, analyzing how subtle changes in dimension can influence pricing and rarity. Get into it. All right, this blocks plot shows the average measurement in length, width, and height, and across the 5 diamond cuts: App Store, Excellent, Ideal, Poor, and Very Good, as well as the price variation among each. Overall, this chart is showing the impact of cut quality on both diamond proportions and its value, focusing on how the proportions often correspond with a higher quality cut, and diamonds with a higher quality cut typically have a higher market value. You can see in these marks, it shows the average height, length, and width, and the average price. Moving on, we have diamond color and shape and the rarity count. So this heat map compares a diamond's color class D through age by rarity to the various diamond shapes using color cell to represent the count of diamonds in each combination, indicating that fewer diamonds in each cell, as if this has 43, would be less common, as this one would be more common as it has a count of 362. So each cell also shows the average depth and table percentages for each combination to show how they vary in each shape. So overall, you can see the combination of each and how this affects the depth and table percentages. All right, this third chart here is about average diamond price by girdle, collet, and symmetries. This breaks down by 3 attributes: the girdle thickness, collet size, and the symmetry rating. Each row represents a specific girdle with the collet and symmetry rating at the top. So that's over here, right here. The length of each bar is the typical price for that combination. These factors can affect the diamond's appearance and durability. In other words, the higher the quality and the more symmetrical the diamond is, the higher the market value it will have. So right here, we're going by the same color. Red is lower, blue is higher. Average higher price for this one is $335,000. The small collet, medium to slightly thick girdle, and a good symmetry rating. This one over here has into thick girdle and excellent symmetry, and the average price is $4,719. All right, so my key takeaways from this is that key precision drives value. Diamonds with more consistent length, width, and height tend to have higher prices. Rarity and color shape combos are less common, often increasing the price. Proportion matters, so depth and table percentages can significantly influence brilliance and in turn market value. Beyond the 4 C's, attributes like girdle thickness, collet size, and symmetry also impact the diamond's appearance and price, highlighting the small details that can lead to big differences. In conclusion, this analysis shows that while the 4 C's remain central to a diamond's valuation, in addition, proportions and quality factors such as girdle, collet, and symmetry can also have a major impact. By exploring how these subtle attributes affect pricing and rarity, we can gain a more holistic view of what truly determines a diamond's value in the marketplace. Thank you.
All right. Boy, I tell you, my mom is going to love to watch this back, and she is all about diamonds, and she is going to be voraciously taking notes. And then, of course, I can't help but notice you guys used so many really great math representations, like the box plot and the scatter plot. Those were really great. They are excellent uses of the data that you had, in my opinion, in my very esteemed opinion as a former math teacher. So really enjoyable. Thank you guys so very much. Let's talk about kind of working together as a team. So you guys had 5 days. Had you ever worked together before?
No, this was first time we all met.
And how did it go?
It was good. We were very clear from the beginning what visualizations we wanted from the data set. As you can see, like these are a lot of physical, continuous and categorical variables which needed a lot of explanation. And also we wanted to explore all the variables, be it a categorical data, which Monty explained through his box plot, and I did all the continuous variable through scatter plot. because all those were covered, Vibha did everything that falls under clarity and carrot, because those were important dimensions for our analysis too. So we all divided the work, and that's how we did our analysis.
Yeah, really comprehensive. Do you feel like, looking back on it, if you had one more day, is there one question that you guys didn't get a chance to answer as a team?
Yeah, so I think as a team, I think we struggled to put everything under 7 minutes. As you can see, I was just like going from slide to slide. I could have, like, scatter plot was one of the important a piece of information from my thing, but I just ran through it. So yeah, the
Sure.
time was something that we wanted, like, the time pressure was something that we was a challenge, like, because we had a lot of data, and to present within that 7 to 10 minutes time frame.
Oh, yeah, it's a killer. Well, really fantastic, super comprehensive, really well done. All right, those were the Diamond Detectives with their very thorough detectiveness investigation of all the different types. I didn't even know there were so many different parts of diamond value until that presentation. So really great. That was Monty Sitzman, we've had Hecti, and Karen Maura. And then our last team for the evening is MBT, and that is Bianca Wheaton, Amber Grice Rudisell, and Dominique Williams.
Share my screen. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Myself, Brianna, and Dominique, we did the personality survey analysis. I focused on the data set as a baseline, so we added on to each other. So yeah, I focused like on the baseline, and then Bianca will talk about, she'll dive deeper and talk about the personality data set as far as like the Big Five model, as far as the five categories, which are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And then we will end it with Dominique, and he will elaborate on how you can use these personality traits in the hiring process. So working with like recruiters and HR. So the first chart is basically the average responses. From this, you can see that people were more inclined to answer that they were more inclined to answer to positive responses rather than negative responses. This could be interpreted as people were wanting to be showing as socially desirable, not want to cause trouble, and which is based off of cultural and social norms. The next chart basically shows that out of all of the answers that they could choose, 1,400 people answered agreed rather than neutral, strongly agree, disagree, which could be a form of guilt, avoidance, self-control, perception, and moral obligation. And then the next slide focuses on the responses. People were more apt to respond to positive questions than negative questions. And then I will turn it over to Bianca, who will go into more of the personality traits.
Hi, my name is Bianca, and today I'm presenting direct insights on personality traits and social behaviors. And this data is going to help the recruiters understand how the traits of like leadership and introversion and emotional intelligence influence the workplace interaction and team dynamics. So if we take a look at this first graph here, this is the personality traits and social preferences. So this chart is going to show 97.5% of respondents enjoy large parties, while only 2.5% disagree. So this indicates a strong preference for social engagement, suggesting that many individuals thrive in collaborative environments. So for a recruiter, this data can help assess cultural fit, whether a candidate would excel in a team-driven workplace or prefer independent work. Next slide. Okay, next we examine how introversion and leadership influence friendliness. So the blue line here represents leadership, showing a positive correlation with making friends, while the purple dash line represents introversion, which has a weaker connection. So this suggests that natural leaders tend to build social connections more easily, while introverts may need a different approach to team integration. So understanding this can help a recruiter match candidates with roles that align with their social tendencies. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we have this bar chart, and it highlights key emotional traits based on the Likert scale, which you see here in the y-axis, 2 being agree and -2 disagree. So for job recruiters, this data suggests that the candidate possess strong leadership, teamwork, and emotional intelligence in the blue, and while maintaining a lower tendency to worry excessively. So these traits can be valuable for managerial leadership or a team-driven role. Next slide. Okay, so in summary, understanding these dynamics help recruiters make informed selection for team compatibility and role suitability. So I would also like to show the next slide, which was basically just a summary of my key insights that I wanted to do separate, and also to show that recruiters that this is a great way for a business application. And I'd like to hand this over now to Dominic.
Okay, there we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So now we will take a look at the data from an employment setting. And at the beginning of any hiring process, it is already predetermined that there are 2 main topics that are imperative to employment. They are expertise and personality types. To begin, we will look at how we use machine learning algorithms to compose a 22-question test for expertise and a 32-question test for personality traits. So out of the 707 total possible new hires that answered our questions for communication skills, we see that 61% of participants showed communication skills. Next, we will look at these 477 participants who answered our integrity and dependability questions. And in total, 85% of our candidates showed that they displayed integrity and dependability. Now, for our problem solving and critical thinking questions, we see that 63% of candidates showed that they were capable of having great problem solving and critical thinking skills. And with adaptability and flexibility, 61% of participants expressed that they were comfortable adapting to new environments and being flexible. And lastly, we see that 71% of candidates showed that they were comfortable working with a team and collaborating on assignments. Now, we will take a look at the 5 personality group types that are amongst our pool of possible new hires. So to begin, we see that only 36% of candidates showed that they were introverts. Next, we see that answering the 5 questions for extroverts, we see that 67% showed that they displayed extroverted qualities. Next, we see that 79% of potential new hires showed that they were emotionally stable. And then we see that 34% of candidates showed that they had neurotic personality traits. Next, we see that 69% of potential new hires showed that they were efficient and thorough with their work. And here we see that 73% of candidates were open to new experiences. Lastly, we see that 66% of new candidates showed that they consider themselves kind, considerate, and cooperative. So, in conclusion, on the emotional spectrum, signs of neuroticism are present through feelings of anxiety and irritability, which may indicate high pressure roles. Also, individuals who demonstrate high conscientiousness marked by a dedication to a responsible and goal-oriented approach indicate that they are reliable and have a strong work ethic. Excuse me. So, suggestions. Once we have hired the new candidates, we can create a balanced work group by incorporating both introverts and extroverts. And this can create a rich group dynamic with thoughtful analysis and reflective perspectives. Also, we can create an emotional support group for candidates showing neurotic traits to help manage their stress. Also, we can create environments that encourage creative thinking and innovation. Also, we can utilize the high levels of agreeableness to create team building activities. And lastly, we can ask for feedback just to see how we can improve. Thank you. Hello?
Sorry, I couldn't unmute fast enough. No, that was great. I feel like you guys and the data divas need to get together and like share war stories about the data that you guys went through because I was rolling with laughter at some of the questions that you guys had to have gone through around like, how neurotic are you? I feel like that's a really good dating pool question.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about things that were enjoyable about your project. Did you guys find it like the question we always ask you guys to produce, right, is provide business value in the analysis you guys are presenting. But did you feel like participating in the code putting had a value add to you as one of the students?
Very. We were discussing how this data was so limited and complex, and it taught us how to think critically and look deeper into research. I know I was telling my group, I kept, looking at it at the responses of personality traits, and I was like, this reminds me of a personality assessment to assess, for self-reflection and to help you know what are your strengths and weaknesses, as well as to, determine what job role best fit your personality. And Amber, she had the questions to go with it, and then that sparked another idea for Dominic. He was like, well, I want to go even deeper. I was like, yes, this is amazing. So I'm so proud of my team.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that you guys enjoyed it. So let's obviously you guys found it pretty easy to collaborate. You guys had a lot of really interesting data. In terms of the results that you guys were getting, you mentioned you had a tighter kind of pool of data to work from than maybe TripleTen presents you with, for your standard projects. So how satisfied are you guys with the results?
Very satisfied. So yeah, like basically my part, I just did like the baseline of just the questions itself and like the averages and sums. And then when we all got together, we all had a different piece of the pie, I guess, of the data, and it just all came together. And so I don't know, I think I'm very pleased with what we came with. So
Yeah, it was fascinating to see the piece I think for me that was most interesting was seeing that more people tended to agree with questions, or tended to, answer the selections that were, that was an agree wording versus a disagree wording.
Right,
Did you
right.
guys have any other like things where you guys were going through? I know Bianca, you said Dominic was like, I want to go even deeper. Then did you guys have any other things that were like kind of wild and mind blowing when you were going through it?
I was shocked about the neuroticism. I just knew that it would have been a higher red square than the green. But actually, the reason for that is there is a high neuroticism and a low. So if you're low, you're going to agree more with being sociable as opposed to high neuroticism. So that kept
Who
that.
is going to out themselves?
Right.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you guys in the dating group, you guys need to get together. That would be an amazing kind of blend of the data there. All right. Well, thank you guys so very much. That was a really great one to end on. It just gives me the giggles seeing the different questions that are asked in this data set entirely. So super fascinating. All right, that is MBT with Bianca Whedon, Amber Grice Russell, and Dominic Williams. And that is the end of our presentation. Those are all our teams for tonight. So we have had a wide variety of business value presented to you, the viewer. I am so excited. Every team picked a different data set, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go back and look at the own data I have, but that's never happened. Usually there is some overlap somewhere. So kudos to this group of students for picking different groups of data to go through. It was so exciting and very entertaining. Thank you guys so much for watching at home. Thank you to students for participating. It takes a lot of courage to be able to put your blind trust in people you've never met that are in the same program as you. And I'm so glad to see that it worked out so well for all of you. If you are a student of ours, please remember that you can vote for your favorite team in the Discord channel on the poll. And if you're not a student of ours yet, please look down below and vote in the live chat. And that way we can get those audience participation votes in there. The results and the winner are going to be posted to our Discord and socials on March 12th. And I'd like to send special thanks to all the people that work behind the scenes to kind of organize the code putting and support our students. So that's Arena, Omar, Alyssa, Elena, Olivia, Dennis, Anastasia, and my cat, Sharkbait. He's a paid actor. Thank you again for all of your participation. My name is Tiffany Hall. You can find me at Tiffany Codes on Instagram, and you can probably find my cat teaching a masterclass on the art of looking unimpressed. Thanks for watching and have a good evening, y'all.